Mark. How's it going?
It's going well.
Good. So I want to talk to you a little bit about your personal casting journey, which is a little bit different than a lot of the other contestants that we've had. So kind of take us back through exactly, when you first auditioned. Was it a tape you sent in? Was it a casting call? Like, kind of take us from the very first time you auditioned all the way up to when you actually made it on the show.
Okay, well, it's quite an arduous process. It wasn't just a one and done deal for me. Originally, my cousin wanted me to audition with her. I didn't want to have anything to do with the show. So after a while, after a long bout of convincing, I was finally like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then I started to really get into the process. I'm like, maybe they can do something for me. And we originally tried out in New York, the first time. This was in 2008. We tried out in New York. Didn't get a call back, and then my cousin's like, "Oh, fly out to Phoenix with me like 2 weeks later to do the call back there." So flew out to Phoenix a couple weeks later. Met up with Brandon Nickens and Barb Wolf. They were my first callback. They saw something in me for some reason. They called me back, but they didn't call my cousin back. And unfortunately, they were doing couples for the next season, so didn't make that. The season
How
after
was
that,
that? Just real quick, sorry to interrupt you, but how was that? With you being called back and your cousin not, because that happens, probably more than people would realize.
yeah, it was. It was great for me, but at the same time, it was a big letdown because my cousin was able to do my journey with me. It's. I felt honored, that I was called back, that something was seen in me, and pretty much I didn't make the cut that season because I didn't have a partner. They saw something and they wanted to bring me a little further, but I didn't have anyone to go with. Same thing with, and that was actually for season 6. Same thing with season 7. Again, it was couples, couldn't make it on. And then I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. Auditioning for season 8, which was singles. Thought I could make it on, but I just had a lot of stuff going on at the same time. Family issues. My father's going through cancer treatments. My grandmother's on the deathbed. I lost my job. And I was just really a little too down on myself, and I didn't make the cut for season 8. Then I got convinced to try out yet again for season 9 with my mother this time. I finally convinced my mother to go since my cousin hadn't made it already twice with me. I figured my mother actually really needs it. Made it very far with my mother. We got yet another callback. I gave a pro at them now, getting my callback interviews and everything. We made it very far, but unfortunately did not make the cut again. And season 10 is coming around. I don't want to try out for season 10 anymore. I'm sick of the letdown, getting the false hopes up. Or I thought they were false hopes at the time. And then I got a phone call from Brandon Nickens trying to convince me to try out for season 10. He's like, it's singles again. Believe me, we want you on the show. We're trying to get you on the show. So, I know I had people fighting for me. I didn't want to do it. And he's like, come on, just try it. I'm like, all right, fine. Finally convinced me to go out and try, and I got yet another call back. But there was something a little bit different this time. I had a little bit more pep, a little bit more energy going into it. And I think that's what really helped me along this time is that I was really excited about it. Showed a lot of passion and made it through a very long audition and casting process. But you know what? Made it on to season 10, and extremely happy I did. I feel phenomenal right now. I feel the best I've felt in probably about 10 years. And I'm so happy to be given the opportunity. So I guess the big message I can give to people out there who are trying out, if you don't get a call back your first time, don't worry. I had to go through 5 callbacks before I got on the show. It might be a perfect fit for the show, but not for the current season that's casting. I think that's a big thing that people are going into it. They think they don't get the call back. Oh, I'm not good for the show. You could be perfect for the show, but just you don't fit the bill for that season for some reason. So for me, I felt like the show would help kickstart my weight loss. Actually, I didn't kickstart my weight loss. It completely took care of my weight loss.
Who all you interviewed with?
Okay, originally I interviewed with Brandon and Barb. Then I interviewed the next year in Phoenix again with Brandon again. Then I interviewed with Jackie and Paul. Then I interviewed with the lovely Holland Strickland and Brandon once again. So it seemed like Brandon was a reoccurring theme in my interview life. You know, he was the one who really he kept fighting for me all these long years.
He definitely was fighting for you. He loved you since day one. And I remember, before you walked in for your interview when I was there, he was like, this guy's amazing. He's great. He's got to make the show this season. This has got to be his season. And of course, like, you blew me away. And I was like, I'm totally on board. Let's fight for this guy. So.
I appreciate it. I appreciate every single backroom meeting and fighting for me. You know, I really, it's you saved my life. You guys really helped save my life.
Thank you. It was definitely worth the fight for us too. You're amazing. So a lot of people don't realize that as casting directors, we have to fight for you and fight for those that we really feel like we want on the show. Multiple seasons if a particular season isn't necessarily a season that's kind of geared towards them. So did you ever feel at any point when we called you multiple seasons that we weren't being honest about us wanting you on the show so bad?
No, I mean, never for a second did I think he was full of crap. I knew he was fighting for me the whole time. I mean, I wouldn't keep getting callbacks. He wouldn't keep yanking my chain like that, you know, like teasing me with callbacks every season. I knew he kept fighting for me, you know, and I had the feeling that people were behind me the whole time. You know, I knew it just wasn't a bunch of hot air.
Kind of tell me a couple of the things that you're doing to pay it forward. Are there any organizations you're working with or anything like that at this point?
There's a lot of stuff I'm doing. I've actually a couple days ago I spoke to the YMCA in my hometown, and it was kind of my idea just to do a big Q&A session with them because I don't want to bore people with like a speech like this is my journey, this is what I've done, blah blah blah. So I told people, I'm like, you have questions, come up and ask. You know, I had maybe 100, 120 people there. A lot of cute little kids asking questions, which some of them actually asked better questions than the adults did, funny enough. Doing stuff like that. I'm organizing boot camps with my cousin out in Phoenix, who herself has lost 126 pounds so far. She's done very well. She's pretty much done losing weight. Now she's focusing on weight training, just like I'm doing. I've actually bulked up a little bit in muscle. Like I'm a lot more top heavy up here than I was even a month and a half ago. I kind of like it.
I saw your picture of your guns.
Oh yeah, the gun show. Yeah, I'm trying to get my arms a little big and my chest bigger. I'm just trying to stay active, doing a lot of stuff. In March 5th, great charity. I'm flying down to Florida to New Smyrna Beach, and we're doing like a whole citywide, kind of like a 5K scavenger hunt type deal for Leukemia Lymphoma Society. What else am I doing? Going to Omaha, Nebraska in a couple months to do another benefit there for a children's hospital. Doing a lot of stuff. I'm just really trying to trying to keep active and pay it forward because I'm really passionate about this stuff now, and I just love getting out there talking and spreading the message.
That's fantastic. So it's not just about the weight loss. You've had plenty of opportunities afterwards.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I really enjoy the nutritional aspect of everything because I went to undergrad for science, and I just love the way the science of food and how it affects the body. I was thinking actually about going for a master's in nutrition now, but the one thing is if I stay in this field, the fitness and nutrition field, I'm accountable to myself now. I can't be 400 pounds and talk about fitness and nutrition. So it gives me a new focus that I've been looking for because everyone says like, oh, you go into the finale, you focus on the finale, but then what afterwards? You know, and I had a ton of focus. Obviously, I lost just a couple pounds for that finale. And then I was, a couple days after the finale, I really had to think, what's going to be my new focus in life? What's going to help me along my journey and keep me the way that I am now? And that's staying in this field and spreading the message to other people.
There's any one thing that, I guess, a tip that you could give to someone going through the casting process right now, what would it be?
Don't give up. That's the big tip I give to anyone going through the casting process. And don't try to be fake when you go in there because these casting directors are very good at what they do and they can spot that in a second. Just be yourself, be loud, be proud, and just act natural. You know what? And if you're meant for the show, they'll pick it up right away. I went in there, I mean, of course, being from New York, New Jersey, I'm pretty honest and I'm pretty blunt, which is really a breath of fresh air for a lot of people. So I just went in there and just said what I had to say. You know, I didn't pull any punches, didn't lie about anything. I'm just like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. you know, and I think they really appreciate that breath of fresh air.
That's absolutely right. And that's one thing that you did that a lot of people, hold back in their interviews and they don't want to kind of lay everything out on the table and let us know what's going on with them and why they've gained the weight. And that's kind of one thing that we look for is that honesty and that, you know, for them to just kind of tell us what's going on and their entire story and not, because if they walk away and there's stuff that we don't know, those things that we don't know could have been what put them on the show. So,
Oh, right. Like clarity. Clarity is one thing that casting directors look for. They want, like you said, lay everything on the table. Because that could be part of your story. That could be perfect for the show. I mean, if you're not completely honest with the casting directors, you're not honest with yourself. And you really, the big thing for me was just letting go and just giving up all shame whatsoever. I took my shirt off at 421 pounds in front of millions of Americans. At that moment, all shame was gone. And I knew that was the one of the first steps of my healing process. Because once you let go and expose yourself like that, and expose every facet of your life, I mean, I became an open book. Anything anybody wanted to know, I told them. I mean, I've always been an honest person, but there are always like little secrets that you have. Let it go. When you let that go, that's all that emotional weight coming off you. And I lost twice as much emotional weight than I did physical weight. And it felt unbelievable. And don't be afraid to cry either. I cried more through this whole process and through the whole show than I have my entire life combined. And I couldn't be happier about it because it feels really good.
yeah, I think that's one thing that Brandon pointed out to me after you walked out of your interview that day in Chicago, was that, this interview you really let it all out, and you could really tell that you really wanted it more than ever that season. So
I was ready. I was ready, believe me.
well, thank you, Mark. We really appreciate your time, and if you want to wish the hopefuls good luck for season 12.
Yes, season 12 is coming up. I mean, I can barely believe 12 seasons already. I mean, I was in the 10th season, and that ended a month ago. Good luck out there. Just keep your chin up. No matter what happens to you, keep your chin up, and you'll be surprised how good you feel.
All right, thanks, Mark.